one of the main things I wanted to discuss with you is the impact of COVID and the lockdown and the economic devastation on our poor people, and how we should be thinking about it. I mean, we've had in India for some time a policy framework, particularly when we were in the UPA, of providing a sort of a floor for poor people, Narega, right to food, etc. And now a lot of that work is going to sort of fall by the wayside because we have this disease coming, and millions and millions of people are going to fall back into poverty. So this is something, I mean, how should one think about this?
Right. So I think that these are kind of separable in my view, in the sense that I think that the real problem in the very short run is that these, I think, more policies, good policies put in place by the UPA are inadequate. And the government, in a sense, absolutely embraced them. I mean, it was not that there was a particular partisan disagreement there. There was very clear that the UPA instruments will be used for doing whatever it is. I think what is harder to wrap one's head around is what do you do about the people who are not covered by that? And that's a lot of people, the migrants in particular. One of the ideas that was mooted, I think, in the last years of the UPA, but also embraced by the current government, was the idea that the Aadhaar would be made national and therefore would be used for PDS and other things. So the Aadhaar-based claims on PDS would be eligible. You would be eligible for it wherever you are. And that would have been wonderful to have that right now. Sort of looking back, I would say that would have saved a lot of misery, because I think a lot of people would have then gone to the local ration shop and said, here's my Aadhaar. I'm eligible for PDS. I'm collecting PDS in Mumbai, even though my family resides in Malda or Darbhanga or whatever. That's my claim. And so I think the fact that that didn't happen means that there's a bunch of people for whom there isn't really a system. Mm-hmm. And they are eligible to Narega because they're in Bombay. There's no Narega in Bombay. They're not eligible for PDS because they're not actually residents. Part of the problem in the very short run is that the conceptualization of the welfare structure was based on the idea that anybody who's really not in where they're supposed to be is actually working and is earning an income, and therefore we don't have to worry about them. And that's what's collapsed. And then the question of poverty, it's not obvious to me that if the economy revives, there needs to be a durable effect on poverty. The real concerns are, will the economy revive? And in particular, how does one think through the possible time paths of this disease through that process? I think we should try to be optimistic about the survival of the overall economic well-being of the country.
But a lot of
the right actions.
A lot of these people, they get their jobs from sort of small and medium businesses who are going to have a sort of cash flow problem, and a lot of those businesses are going to go bankrupt because of the shock. So there is also a link between the economic damage that is going to come to those businessmen and the ability of these people to maintain a job.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the reason why a lot of us have been saying that we need a stimulus package. Mm-hmm. That's what the US is doing. That's what Japan is doing. That's what Europe is doing. We really haven't decided on a large enough stimulus package. We're still talking about 1% of GDP or something. The US has gone for 10% of GDP. But there's a sense in which I think we have to, the MSME sector, mostly the easier, we have done one thing that I think is wise, which is to kind of put a moratorium on debt payments. I would say we could do more than that. We could even say that the debt payments for this quarter will be cancelled and will be taken care of by the government. that, so we could do a bit more than that so that you don't actually have to pay for a quarter where you never pay. It's not just a matter of rescheduling it, just permanently cancel it. We could do that, but beyond that, I think it's not clear that targeting the MSME sector is the right channel. It's more reviving demand, giving money in the hands of everybody so that they go buy in the stores or they buy consumer goods. The MSME sector produces a bunch of stuff that people will want. They've been not buying things. So if they had money, or even if you promise them money, it doesn't have to be that money is right now. If you're in the red zone, you could say, look, whenever it's lifted, we'll have money in your account. You'll have 10,000 rupees in your account and you can spend it. I think spending is the easiest way to revive the economy, because then the MSME people, they get money, they spend it. It sort of has the usual Keynesian chain reaction.